Madam President and distinguished members of the court, it is a privilege to appear before the court on behalf of South Africa. I will address Israel's genocidal intent. At this stage, the court is not required to determine that the only inference to be drawn from the available evidence is genocidal to order provisional measures.
Please be seated. Sitting is open. The court meets today and will meet tomorrow under Article 74, Paragraph 3 of the Rules of Court to hear the oral observations of the parties on the request for the indication of provisional measures submitted by the Republic of South Africa in the case concerning application of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide in the Gaza Strip.
I just spoke with some of the elders from the community, and the last time they can remember this type of drought is 1947. So this is not a normal circumstance, and they say this drought now with this type of heat that they've experienced has not happened before. So we do expect, and we see that also around us, quite an impact on the agricultural production.
It is a period of intense heat and poor harvests. The Southern African region is experiencing a severe drought, with many families unable to cater for their daily needs.
Crops are struggling to survive in Zambia. Every day, Peter Shamapondo goes to check on his maize, and every time he comes out here, he worries.
All crops have been destroyed. There's nothing good to look at in the fields. Hunger will kill us.
Here's a little bit of background. The economy has stalled, growing less than 1% per annum over the past decade. At 32%, unemployment is rampant, and so is poverty, crime, and corruption. Inequality is also rising, and living costs are high. Not just that, the rand has been the worst performing major currency since President Cyril Ramaphosa took power in 2018. Public finances are also squeezed. South Africans here have endured almost daily blackouts after decades of underinvestment in dilapidated power plants, while road, rail, and port infrastructure are collapsing. So it's no wonder then that as we approach the May 29th election, the ANC's rule and a second term for President Ramaphosa are under threat.
South Africa is on the verge of collapse. After years of corruption and mismanagement and poor investment, everything that once could have been a great state just now seems to have slipped from South Africa's grasp. And as the country's leaders try to get a hand on the impending disaster that is taking place inside of the country, the tensions are only getting worse inside of it. Over the past decade, the economy of South Africa just continues to spiral into decline. The unemployment rate as it currently stands within the state is almost 33%, which is an eye-popping amount that only lends further trouble to the current crime spree that racks the entire country. Not even the years, but as the months and even days go by, South Africa is only falling further and further into decline. And to make matters worse, at one point in time, the country's once reliable and cheap electricity has now become arguably the single biggest threat to the entire nation's economy. The company that operates the nation's power, Eskom, has struggled to keep the lights on for residents all across the country for months and now experiences constant blackouts. Plants across the country are breaking down, and for every single one that falls, the electrical grid would become even more unstable. Eskom authorities have now turned to enacting forced blackouts in order to try and prevent a total system collapse.